Alright, so how y'all doing, boys? Hope you're doing well. Now in today's video we are here trying out the brand new legend difficulty final boss DIANE. Now this final boss is definitely something, usually with most of legend difficulty final bosses, and I like to say this a lot, is they're not really legend difficulty. They're usually like quite a letdown, usually just a step above hell, which I know is what they are, but I feel like the title should be a little bit more. But this one is a lot more difficult than most of the other ones. Now, unfortunately, you can't just see what other people's teams are like you would usually do with any other final boss, but there are a couple fairly good units, and don't be disappointed if you can't beat this one, because this is definitely the most difficult like legend final boss we've got in ages, and probably not as difficult as final boss Escanor. In saying that, it has been quite a while since that came out, so maybe with the units we've got now it could be a lot easier, but we'll just have to see. Now, quickly jumping into the shop here. Now, shop's fairly nice, nothing special. There's no cosmetic upgrades, which is unfortunate, but along with typical, legend final boss difficulty, you do have to buy them daily. So I would advise, say, trying to maybe, grind out as much as possible day one, or just make sure you stay on top of it each day and visit the shop and buy everything, because you do have to make sure you at least, attend the shop some days. But jumping back into the final boss now, some of the units that they do recommend using are fairly difficult to obtain. Now, this is the team I'm using here. Now, we'll start off with the units in the front. DIANE has a passive where you really can't use anything type disadvantage, and due to the fact she's an AoE attacker, you can't say with some previous final bosses, you've been able to run teams where you use like DIANE as a taunting unit and have like Darieri on the side and should just nuke people. But once again, due to the fact it's an AoE, boss, you can't get away with that. So really stuck to the green units. Now, Brunhold, if you have her, is an extremely good pick. The main the main characters they do want you to pick is the Zarathos. Now, it'll be come down here. Unfortunately, yeah, only have him level 6. He's not super weakened or anything, so can't use him. But we're mainly trying to find, green AoE units. That's what it wants you to do. Once again, you don't really have to go by that, but Brunhold is a super good pick. Zarathos as well, if you have him, is another really good one. And the Festival Lolly Merlin is also a really good front pick, due to the fact, has her AoE ultimate, brings up the shield, has her AoE card, and the super strong single target card. Now, unfortunate thing is it's almost impossible, it might actually be impossible to crit on this final boss. I don't think I've seen it happen at all with Merlin, at least, so you can completely rule that out of the picture. I just have the sorry link on it because, but when it comes to other units, now, I haven't tried any full demon teams. I don't feel like it'd go too well. This Arthur here is a free-to-play unit. He came out along with the what is the word I'm looking for? Festival Escanor. You could get him for free. Other than that, he has been on a bunch of banners, and I do believe you can still pull him on some of the ticket banners, so most people should have him. I definitely recommend having him in the front, but if you like use him, you could use the Halloween Gotha as well on the, left or right, and use them along with like an AoE unit. But I mean, other units in here, let's see. You could use Jericho, you could use Escanor as well. He'd be a pretty good pick. They recommend using Escanor as well in like the game, but the second phase has the can't stencil, so literally not getting any use out of that. And other than that, yeah, I have a feeling Shin would be good because he has that double AoE. Roxy as well is another really, really good pick. But other than that, like there's, reduction to cancel, to counter damage, sorry, so you can't use that one. And yeah, no one else really appeals. So the main team here, once again, can use some of those units like Escanor if you're more free to play. And when it comes to unit in the back, either this Jillian or the red SR Liz, obviously due to the fact that the unit in the back won't be coming out, you should be alright in that department. I'll see if I can quickly find. I don't think I have her super awakened, which is why I'm not using her. Where is she? I remember struggling to find her before. Okay, yeah, never mind. Here she is, level 90. So yeah, I'm just using Jillian because there's more CC. Either works. You kind of want to be using more of those defensive type units. But when it comes to food, for final bosses, you do usually prefer to use lifesteal food. If you can't out CC them with lifesteal food, that's completely fine. Probably recommend using something like HP food or maybe attack food, but we'll get into our first attempt now and we'll explain a couple things. Jumping into this first run here, and like I said before, do not feel bad if you can't finish this one. I might even fail or have like several units die in this attempt. It's not a common thing, but it's definitely difficult content. Like, at the moment, obviously the Hasvalgrade is like the most difficult content in the game by far, but this is definitely like got difficulty to it. So first phase here, I'll just start chucking out cards and explain as I'm going. So we have DIANE here and we have these two minions on the left and right. Now, when we kill this minion on the right here, as you guys will see, DIANE gets a debuff, and every time you kill this guy, that debuff will apply on here. It's basically a HP related stats debuff that basically allows us to do that. You almost impossible to deal damage to her if you don't have those debuffs. Now, when attacking and actually getting those debuffs, you can't get it twice in one turn, or you can, but it doesn't always work. You can't actually look at their passive and see what it is exactly why, but I'd recommend just trying to do it once every turn. If you do overlap it, which we might try and do here and see if we can get it to happen, it doesn't always work. Attacking the left guy though, the left guy's less, it's more for the people if you're struggling with this first phase. Now, yeah, as you can see, it worked there. Now, we can get up to 4 of these HP related stats debuff on this first phase, so that's typically what you want to go for. If you do start taking quite a bit of damage though, which even if we don't take an awful lot, I might just do it anyway, attacking this left guy actually heals everyone on your team. So when this came out on like the original final boss and you could do it on like Hell and whatnot, most people just use like a Lilia, Hauser, or Omega Rugal and Blue Demon melee team and just spammed PS cards and got all the debuffs and got all the healing. But as you see, this one should basically one-tap him, and we'll throw that one into left guy, and we probably should throw this one into the guy on the right just to be safe, but that should kill, yeah. So got our max 4 debuffs, and upon killing this guy, as you can see, Arthur and the Brunhilde as well got their HP, so that's really nice. Along with the lifesteal, it's also really good healing. You should be alright. Once you've got this 4th one, as you'll see, we'll start attacking into DIANE. She will take a whole ton of damage. Now, Brunhilde for most PvE, I feel for any PvE content, is going to be absolutely great. Her passive, getting like the extra damage and whatnot per person on the field, absolutely insane. Arthur's passive as well is like almost a must-have for this. And just like PvE content, most bosses have multiple orbs. Her getting 20% damage per orb the enemy has is insanely powerful. So you'll see we throw the silver card off here and we'll get a whole ton of damage out. Yeah, she is absolutely great. If you could run her and Zarathos with like an Arthur in the middle, that'd probably be your ideal scenario. Now, one thing I did there, I probably should have attacked with the Merlin before throwing out a second card. That way we could have got a little bit of extra lifesteal on her, but that's fine. We made the mistake. It's better you guys seeing it here and not doing it in your runs, but here we go. Now, second phase, almost the same as the first one. We have to apply the debuffs to DIANE, but attacking this right guy will give I think it's like an all stats, or like I think it's a HP. It's not a HP related stats, but the other one gives a defense related stats. Does it go through it in here? Yeah, once again, it doesn't really show you, but we'll attack into them. These ones are a lot tankier, so we will throw out this Merlin AoE to try and give us some lifesteal back on her. But as you can see there, yeah, even using like our strongest Brunhilde card, still almost no damage, and kind of wasted the single target card there, but that's alright. And there we go, yeah. Basically want to keep applying this one. Now, attacking this guy will give the defense related stats debuff, but I would recommend attacking and killing the right one. The debuff just makes you do more damage in the end anyways. But one thing about this though is, like you saw, guys have so much more health, and one thing, DIANE has a passive where every turn that passes, she ends up doing more damage. So although you didn't see us take like a crazy amount of damage from that ultimate there, as we get into like our second and third, we are going to be taking a whole ton of damage. So we'll rush the Arthur ultimate there. I'm tempted to get the Merlin. We'll rush the Merlin ultimate, why not? As you guys saw in the first phase, obviously you can't get ultimate gauge either. Just have to wait to the end of this one. If you like, you can maybe try and like wait till DIANE in first phase has like a slither of HP and use 3 of the one character to try and move into the next phase with more ultimate gauge, but it's almost not worth it. And in the second phase, they do like to kind of bully one unit, so I'm not showing it so much here, but maybe in some of your attempts, you'll see like they'll either pick like Arthur or Merlin or Brunhilde and kind of just spam all their single target attacks on them. So yeah, Merlin's getting fairly low here. You'll go throwing out the ultimate that should proc passive will kill you with the single target card, and then we'll throw out the Arthur ultimate and hopefully get another kill. Once again, Arthur's card, I believe his ultimate has a sever effect, which is like the 3 times crit chance. We still won't see him crit here, or I think it might be, yeah, 3 times crit chance and yeah, no crit. So it's basically impossible to crit on this stage, but on this second phase, unlike the first one, you're only allowed to apply 3 of the debuffs. So even when, it's time to start attacking, you're still not going to be doing anywhere near as much damage. It's quite difficult. I mean, I'm definitely glad, they've started to give us some more difficult final bosses. I was really disappointed at Legend difficulty until now, but hey, they turned it around. And as you can see there from that DIANE ult, it's only our second one, but we took heaps more damage on the Merlin and whatnot. That should kill you, and then we'll start attacking into the middle there. Brunhild's ultimate as well, along with having like the 2 amazing single target cards. We've only got 2 of the debuffs, I didn't pay any attention to that. I think we killed the same guy twice in the 1 turn, which is why we didn't get the second one, but this guy's only on a little bit of HP, so we can use that. But Brunhild's ultimate, for how much damage you do, I think it's like the multiplier climbs with like alt levels, but as you can see there, heals 50% of the damage dealt, so really, really nice for this, where like healing can be a bit of an issue. As you can see, Melon's getting super, super close to dying. I'm just kind of hoping we can kill the left guy with these 2 AoEs. The ultimate should pretty much get Melon back to full health, but as you see, this third ultimate will do a crazy amount of damage, and I think it only stacks up to like 10 times, so I think around like the 4th, maybe the 5th ultimate, depending on how slow they get it, it does start to slow down. But as you guys saw, killing the left guy there applied the defense-related stats debuff, and now we can start kind of throwing out these power strike cards and getting it over and done with. But once again, like all final bosses and most PvE content is really RNG based. This one I feel is less based on your RNG, but more like DIANE and the side units and who they end up targeting. As you can see, they're still going like almost full ham on Merlin, which is unfortunate. And as well, the attack disabling and stuff is annoying. You can kind of get away with it with like some of the AoE cards, but it's whatever. DIANE will survive this, that's for sure. And hopefully we're not attack disabled. Yeah, as you can see, power strike card is like, especially at the moment, is like one of the most powerful card effects in the game. And we're still getting almost no damage done to DIANE. And like, if you're using a unit like Melon that has the power strike, probably not as useful getting the defense related stats debuff, because we're obviously ignoring the defense related stats with the effect. So that's alright. Yeah, stunning the Melon as well. That's very unlikely, but it does happen. And as you can see, throwing both of the stuns into Merlin. And hopefully gets a couple extra ult gauge. Oh, there we go. We should just be able to wrap this one up with the Brunhild cards. But yeah, really difficult. Usually when doing these final bosses, I like to, go through 2 attempts, try like a free-to-play team, or, just show off the fight a little bit more. But this one is just, it's really difficult. If you guys have the Halloween Roxy, I've heard really good things about her in this final boss, and like her AoE card and whatnot do really, really good. Like her Arthur and Brunhild have all got like really good AoE passives and whatnot, like being alongside other green units. So if you like as well, could try that team out. Unfortunately, I only have the Roxy like level 80 and whatnot, so we'd probably get wiped. As you can see, the Arthur's doing pretty well here, but Arthur's a relatively tanky unit. If you like as well with the Merlin, if you're running her, would maybe recommend, not using crit damage, because that's what I've got on her at the moment. I was just too lazy to swap it off. Probably a lot better going like attack defense, or even HP defense if you like. There we go, that's the end done. And if this was your first completion, you'd get like the crown cosmetic and whatnot, but there we go, boss destroyed, and there's our rewards. Now, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do like a second run on this. If you guys are having struggle with this and, need help team building, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. But yeah, look, there it is, Legend Difficulty Final Boss DIANE. They do recommend some of these. I understand actually Green Dairy could be another really good pick. I don't understand the Bellion quite so much. In all honesty, I don't really know what Bellion does. I've never used him. Estarossa though makes no sense. I wouldn't recommend Estarossa. Like, he works really well in the first phase, but there's no difficulty in the first phase, so there's that. The second phase is where all the difficulty is, and they have the stance cancel, so there's not much you can do. But hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please hit like button, subscribe, really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.